What's going on? I just want to get on here and talk about the race that I'm promoting, the Tim Grubaugh Sprintcar Showdown at Alltech on October 4th, and just kind of go over my thoughts, go over what the event means and what we're trying to do, what we've done, and where we can go. So I figured it'd be a little bit easier to talk about this in a video where you might listen to all of it rather than, writing it all down and getting, you to read everything. So what is the Tim Grubaugh Sprint Car Showdown? Well, it's a race that I promote in the name of my late father, and it's because my dad and I often talked about how there just wasn't enough sprint car racing down here in the South. So now I'm stepping into the ring to learn and to give back to the sport that we both shared a passion for. But let me tell you, it's not very easy. Tracks are often timid about paying a sprint car purse because they're bigger than what they're used to paying. They worry about how the fans will respond, because to pay a purse like this, it takes a lot. First off, it takes sponsorship. It takes fans coming through the front gate, because you just can't pay a sprint car purse through the back gate alone. Year one, though it could be considered a success in a lot of ways, we raised nearly $17,000 in sponsorship, all from family businesses and peers. Even some of the competitors helped. That money allowed us to put on a purse that was nearly double what we normally race for, and it was, more than just a regular show here in the Southeast. And then we had contingencies for the heat race winners, hard chargers, hard luck, quick time, and we even had longest tow awards. So all that money went there. The event brought in 22 sprint cars. We had unique trophies. We had the belts. It's over there, and we had event shirts. We had a different format where we had qualifying and passing points for the heat races. And, that was cool. But the best part was, I got to win the very first race that I promoted in honor of my dad. With that said, we learned a lot. The race being in early November hurt us. It was freezing. And even though the general admission was free, not many fans really showed up or stuck around to buy all that hot cocoa they had prepped for you guys. The car count was lower than I had hoped for, but still we proved that it could be done. So going into year two, we've made some changes. First, we moved the race earlier in the year to October 4th at Alltech Raceway. Next, I wanted it to be a 2-day show because I believe having a 2-day show would bring more cars for sure. But that's a risk. It didn't work out this time. The tracks see too much of a risk to bring in back-to-back races at that time of the year. So, we weren't able to get it. Fans don't show up on Friday night. They'll come on Saturday. They pick one day or the other to come, and the track can't fund those two purses. I also wanted a bigger purse, and that's still up for debate. But I'll tell you this: you didn't let me down last year, and I know you won't let me down this year. We aren't where we need to be yet, but we still got a little bit more time to put it together. I mean, we got all the way to the end of the race, but last year, all the sponsors that came through, we end up putting your name on the event shirt. So if you want to be a part of the event and have a little bit of recognition, please come forwards, and we'll get you on there as a sponsor, as a supporter, whatever it takes. We want to showcase that you are helping us. So I need you to, come to us sooner than later so this design process will go through, because we don't have a lot of time until the race, and, the shirt's got to be designed and produced and all that stuff. Next, I want everyone to understand something. None of the money that we raise is going into my pocket. None of it's going into my race program. Every dollar that we raise for this event, it goes straight on top of the agreed purse between me and the track. So if you put money towards this event, please know that it's going right back into a racer's pocket. I am a racer promoting a show for the racers. But at the same time, the track has to make money too. That's the only way we get more chances to do this in the future. So we have to raise a certain amount of money to get the purse where it should be. The next amount of money can go either to raising the purse or to working towards contingencies. It just depends on how it's flowing in. And then we, whatever we feel is best for that. It's tough. I want it to be the biggest and the best it can be. Last year was 4,000 to win. Right now we have it advertised as 3,000 to win, but until we get enough money to boost us to that point, that's just where we're at. We didn't advertise that it was 4,000 to win last year until a couple weeks before the race, because every time I got something, I just kept putting it into the race, and I have a whole breakdown on a spreadsheet just showing what we can do and what we need to move forwards. Now, I do have two big goals left for this year. First, I want 30 cars. I want to be main. Why, right? Why do you want 30 cars? A full field's all you need. Well, first off, that's going to make a better show. A B main shows the strength of the event and proves to the sprint car racing belongs here in the South. It also helps push that 2-day show that we want in the future, right? If they show the cars are coming down and they're like, man, 30 cars showed up for this. If we do a 2-day show, we might have 40 cars. If fans know 30 cars are coming, they're going to want to come because they know it's going to be a huge event. So, like, racers, man, if you can, please make it. You know what I mean? I understand a lot of budget is involved, but if you can make it, please make it. And it'll just help this for the future. If you want to support me and you want to help this event and help have another marquee event here in Florida, October is the time frame I want to keep this in. And if we're able to do that and push it to a 2-day show, you never know where we can grow from there. You never know what kind of eyes we will open. And, you never know. It might even lead to other tracks in the South wanting to put on a show. There's a lot of tracks that I drive by that don't race us. Second, I want a packed house. We've had it before. Last June, the stands were full. But when we tried it in December, the cold kept everybody away. And then this past June, we got rained out. Both of those were factors in keeping this to a single-day show. But October, that's our shot to pack this place again. Having full stands will open up the budget for this race and allow us to do more, whether it's a 2-day show or even making the purse quite a bit bigger. Something that I believe we deserve down here and something that I want to put on for you guys. And here's the bigger picture. I want other tracks in northern Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina to notice. I want them to see what we can do, and I want them to want sprint car races. Because honestly, I'm tired of driving past all these racetracks just to race 8 hours away. I want to be able to go race at these tracks in southern Georgia that put on big money races for late models. I don't know why they can't do that for us. I think we are a great draw. We race out of town a lot, and the fans out of town are drastically different than what we get around here. So these tracks in southern Georgia, man, they have to see what we can do so that they can put on a show for us so we have more places to race. In the end, this can be something great, but only if we do this together. Fans, share all the posts that we're sharing. I created the Tim Grubaugh Sprint Car Showdown page so that it was easy to move everything along, easy to spread out the information, and tell your friends, bring people with you, put them in the truck with you, come tailgate. We're going to try to have some things going on in the event in the afternoon before the show, but bring people to the racetrack. This is a sport that is really struggling. We need you fans. We can't live and do more without you guys showing up. Racers, interact with everything that we post, and let the track see what you bring to the table. You're way more important than you think. You have a voice in all this, and if they know how much you want something, they're gonna see it and they're gonna listen. But if they got one person standing on a hill by himself, it don't do anything. We got to have a group of us that all show what's going on, man. I am with you guys. I try the hardest that I can. I need y'all's help to say everything that I know is true to help us all out here in the future. I'm doing this because I love the sport, because my dad loved the sport, and because I believe sprint cars deserve a place in the South. So on October 4th, come to Alltech Raceway. Let's make sure that this year's Tim Grubaugh Sprint Car Showdown is bigger and better than it was last year. And let's guarantee that we can make it bigger and better the years moving forwards. Thank you guys. I really hope we all make this happen. I think this could be something big for us, and I hope it just helps us all across the board. All of us need a place to race closer to home. I know I want some people to come from out of town, so it needs to be worth it for them. And potentially we could race at some of these other racetracks that should be able to put on some pretty good racing for us too. So, hey man, share this stuff up. Please like, comment. Let us know what you feel about it. If there's a topic that you think I missed, let's bring it up. Let's start it in the comment section. Let everybody read it. You know, um, let's do what we can to help push this to be bigger and better. And I appreciate you all for that. Thank you.